So there's a certain type of content that is fraught throughout YouTube, and it really only exists to stoke drama for the sake of creating or perpetuating even more drama down the road. I'm talking specifically about the content cop type of drama stoking. Response videos to response videos to response videos. It's a train, ongoing, and bystanders enjoy it because it is indeed cathartic to see people who are haughty and prideful being taken down a peg. And in general, it is difficult to find fault with this type of content because the wounds that result are often self-inflicted. Those who become lolcows as a result really only have themselves to blame, since they were the ones who felt obligated to respond to those who were essentially trolling them. And more or less this type of content defines what is produced by Turkey Tom. An objective look at the history of various faces around YouTube, how they became popular, and the events leading to their, quote, downfall, as the clickbait thumbnails and titles often phrase it. Now for Tom's particular take on Synthetic Man, however, there's something different going on here. A type of non-analysis, and is really just an attempt at character assassination. Let me explain. When Tom begins talking about Synthetic Man, he says,
Synthetic Man has kind of a different perspective, you see, even for media that is widely revered and respected and loved by critics and, the audiences alike.
And so we pause here because this is really all you need to know. Let me repeat out loud what Tom said. You see, for media that is widely revered and respected and loved by critics and, the audiences alike. So my question here is, why does any of that matter? Now I put the pieces together and here's what I think is going on. Tom has a problem with Synthetic Man going against the grain. In other words, the real reason Tom is upset is because Synthetic Man's opinions do not align with the consensus.
Synthetic Man has kind of a different perspective, you see, even for media that is widely revered and respected and loved by critics and, the audiences alike.
Note that when Tom says this, he makes it like it's a point and just lets it stand, just taken for granted, like I mentioned about Dead Domain's video. And this is all part of why you really need to listen to what these people say, because they hide these assumptive details in between the lines as if this is all reasonable. But Tom hasn't proven this. Media that is widely revered and respected and loved by critics and audiences alike. Okay, so make an argument for that. But he doesn't, he just says it. Secondly, even if this was true, Tom says this as if somehow Synthetic Man just ought to go with the flow. Now part of my assuming this is definitely what's going on in Tom's video is that Tom also attempted to defend Moist Critical from Synthetic Man's criticism. And as a lot of folks are aware, what was Moist Critical known for? Consensus. Go with the flow. Just continually make videos saying the most inoffensive things ever, and then take up a position that doesn't rub anyone the wrong way. Note that Synthetic Man doesn't do this. Synthetic Man is extremely offensive, and he is unapologetic about it. And what's funny about that is, often you see the consensus people are the ones who get really upset when those least affected by groupthink have the audacity to talk about what their opinions are. Now to the title of this video. Why does this make Tom a Breadtuber? Well, whether or not Tom himself realizes it, which I actually doubt he does, he resorts to the same tactics that you often see employed by Breadtubers. So we've already established the first part of Breadtube criticism. Tom negs on Synthetic Man for being an outlier to groupthink consensus of opinions about media. Synthetic Man is not part of the tribe, he's a nomad, and therefore he must be destroyed. And so that's part 2, character assassination. Since Breadtubers are unable to rely on objective criticism, they resort to ad hominem and strawmanning.
The dude just sees like a black guy in a TV show and his blood fucking boils. I don't really know what's going on with him. There seems to be some deep sense of insecurity within him because he has a big problem with any interracial couple whatsoever in any piece of media. Like, it just makes him fucking rage. I mean, this is basically what the guy does for a living. He sees a mixed race couple and he goes, what the heck? A black guy and a white woman? That's fucking disgusting. And don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on the white guy and black woman. I mean, what's going on there? Seriously, hey.
Oh, you don't like the current thing? Well, you must be a racist, a bigot, a misogynist, a homophobe, etc. Basically the Anita Sarkeesian playbook.
Everything is sexist, everything is racist, everything is homophobic, and you have to point it all out.
In the end, those whose opinions do not line up with a common consensus are labeled as racist in lieu of an actual argument. Now again, Tom might not even be aware that he is doing this, but this is still something you see Breadtubers resort to time and again, and it's really only effective against anyone bound by white guilt. which I can guarantee Synthetic Man is not. Now, Tom, if you're watching this video, I'll just tell you what I told Dead Domain. Nobody is forcing anyone to watch Synthetic Man, and nobody is holding a gun to your head dictating that you need to address anything he says or does. And you're free to click on any other video you please. You're also free to close your browser and walk away and take in the fresh air outside. Synthetic Man is allowed to have his opinions, and those who agree with him are allowed to agree with him. And if you have a problem with that, well, you're welcome to kick rocks. But if you're going to resort to this slimy SJW tactic of race-baiting people into hating other people online, you will be called out for it, and I can guarantee you will not be respected for it.